Kira, you're here.
And bearing gifts. How's everyone holding up?
Better now. Can't believe it's really you. A Jedi. You're so different.
Kira's more than a Jedi. She's a hero.
You must be Kira's master. It's an honor. I still remember that little girl, bundling up in extra layers of clothing, trying to look bigger and tougher than she was.
Hey, it worked. Add enough layers and nobody knows who you are.
You were protecting yourself. From what?
Refugees become victims real easy, but not me.
Enoch, distribute the food and medicine. Our people have waited long enough. Go now. This famine, your fault. Our people suffer because of the slaughter you committed in our name. The Urkasaks.
Who is this man? What's he talking about?
Name's Darshin. Been the leader here forever. We have differences. Urkasags were bad news. Made us their personal entertainment. Robbed, killed, and worse. For fun. I paid the gang a private visit. Asked them nicely to back off. Things got ugly. Gangsters died.
You butchered the Urkasags. Made a public spectacle of their deaths and spread terror in our name. Everyone fears us.
If what he says is true, you did more than defend yourself.
Only thing gangsters understand is big, nasty violence. It worked. They leave my friends alone now.
Our reputation frightens away those who could help us. Yet desperate people continue to seek refuge here. We can't provide for everyone.
I'll get more supplies to you. I protect my people.
No. Enoch was wrong to bring you back here. Your presence does more harm than good.
Beggars can't be choosers. Should your people suffer because you're angry with Kira? What she did was wrong, but it doesn't mean you should turn away her help.
I'll make it up to you, Darshan. Promise.
Your promises mean nothing to me.
Everyone's so excited you're here, Kira. They want to say thanks. Can you stay a while?
Not this time, but I'll be back. Take care of each other until then.
Welcome. Please select an available travel route. Have a safe and pleasant stay.
Every time I see you return from a mission, I thank the Maker I wasn't designed for combat.
Funny trivia. That gang on Nar Shaddaa I wiped out, the Urkasags, tried to recruit me away from the refugees. Said I'd be better off with them. They had credits, food, cute little clubhouse. All I'd have to do is kill a rival gangster.
If you joined that gang, we probably wouldn't be here.
Still the hardest choice I ever made. I'd been living in a cargo crate for years, eating leftover food from the promenade. Had the Force and Sith training to use it. Could have been running that gang if I wanted. Instead, I did the right thing. Mostly. Violence is wrong, I get that. But my friends are safe because the other gangs are scared of ending up like the Urkasags. Ironic.
Your friends are safe for now, but that can change. As solutions go, violence is a temporary one.
Doesn't exactly fill me with confidence about defeating the Sith. Still don't know if what I did on Nar Shaddaa was right or wrong, but it was necessary. When I hear something crazy, I've done more fighting as a Jedi than during my entire Sith training.
I wish it didn't have to be this way.
On the bright side, still alive. Not easy playing backup to the greatest Jedi warrior in the galaxy. Won't even pretend we'll ever be equals, but I've got some new moves to try out next time we're in a fight.
Don't be so enthusiastic. Those new moves are designed to hurt people.
Nobody who doesn't have it coming. So, when do I get my own Padawan? Always wanted to be a teacher.
When Master Satele thinks you're ready for the responsibility, she'll tell you.
Bet a good word from you would speed that along. Here, pretend you're my Padawan. Got a hypothetical moral dilemma for you. Say you could only save the Republic or the Jedi Order. Which would you choose and why? Don't think, answer.
Jedi are guardians of peace and justice, but the Republic embodies those qualities. It comes first.
Wrong answer, Padawan. If the Jedi Order is destroyed, who will save the Republic? The Jedi have to come first.
Jedi can exist without the Republic, but not the other way around. Interesting notion.
Puts this war in perspective, doesn't it? We're not fighting for them. They're fighting for us. This teaching thing's fun. Have to do it again sometime.
Master Jedi, the defeat of the Sith Empire is easily the most ambitious mission I've ever been given. In fact, the odds of surviving a battle against the Emperor himself are almost zero. I'm looking forward to this more than any other assignment I have ever had.
We're gonna need everything we've got to defeat the Emperor.
Understood, Master Jedi. Victory or death. If I may say so, the Jedi Order's discipline, self-sacrifice, and devotion to duty are a model for all citizens. It will be an honor to serve with you. Master Jedi, I'm aware that my recent military record might raise some concerns. I want to reassure you that my squad fatality rates have not consistently been this high.
I suppose that's good to hear.
The first squad I commanded after making Sergeant was sent to free POWs being held at a small Imperial outpost. Intel said the place would be lightly manned. Most of the Imperials wouldn't arrive for another 24 hours. Intel was wrong.
The outpost wasn't lightly manned, or the POWs weren't being held there?
The Imperials sent their reinforcements a day early. When my squad broke into the outpost, we were outnumbered 10 to 1. We were outmanned and outgunned, but we achieved our objective, freed all the POWs, and came out alive. My squad's casualty rate was 97.4%, but we had no fatalities.
It's impressive that anyone made it out of there with those odds.
They were good soldiers, far better than any of the others I've had under my command. Our mission was accomplished without permanent loss of Republic resources. That squad was effectively trained, and as a result, we achieved victory much more efficiently.
They must have been remarkable soldiers.
They are. Good soldiers are a resource, Yes, their loss damages the war effort, but they are meant to be used. Victory for the Republic is worth any cost. Master Jedi, our downtime has had a positive impact on my battle readiness. I believe I'm 14.2% more prepared for combat now.
What? What does that even mean?
It's a statistical analysis of, well, I won't bore you with the details. I've had a lot of time to think. I've forgotten what that was like.
Relax while you can, Sergeant. There's more fighting ahead.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been thinking about my original squad. I haven't seen any of them since we liberated that POW camp. They seem to be on active duty, but I can't find any mention of commendations or recognition. They should be decorated soldiers.
I'm sure you'll find something.
Carson, Nadja, Eckert, that whole squad has simply vanished.
One might almost believe that you considered those soldiers people.
They'd be most valuable to the Republic deployed on the front. This just doesn't make sense to me. Finally tracked down my old squad mates, Master Jedi. Wishing I hadn't. General Garza recruited them into the Special Forces Black Ops program. But now, they're in a detention facility on Beirun, convicted of war crimes.
War crimes are a serious charge. How did your old squad go from being heroes to convicted criminals?
Black Ops doesn't make heroes. It trains killers. If the right targets die, no one complains. They renamed my old squad the Surgeons, tasked them with destabilizing the Empire's command structure by removing its best leaders. But the Surgeons didn't just target Imperial commanders. They went after the officers' families. They wanted to send the enemy a message.
Killing women and children is never acceptable.
Good soldiers know what acceptable targets are. This wouldn't have happened on my watch. The detention center's warden says my old squad mates are serving life sentences. They're young. That's a lot of years to spend in cages. The next time I get nostalgic and curious, Master Jedi, give me a planet to invade.
I took the liberty of dusting your quarters, Master. Your respiratory health is one of my top priorities.
Gotta say, this is one comfy starship. Never saw anything this cushy on the Outer Rim. Those fringers use rocks for pillows. And medical care? Forget it. Kolto might as well be a myth. Tough work being a doctor outside the Corps.
Healing the sick and wounded is difficult no matter where you are.
Try doing surgery without anesthetic. It's even harder if the patient doesn't get any. I could have gone home, had a safe medical practice, and died of boredom. But I'm a man of action. You have any idea how many people have tried to kill me for bringing quality healthcare to their planets?
In my experience, helping others is hazardous to your health.
Luckily for my patients, I enjoy a challenge. The frontier worlds are crawling with pirates, gangsters, and tax collectors. But they're no match for old Doc. Not everyone needs a laser sword and mind tricks to get out of a tight spot.
I don't need them either. They're just efficient.
Me? I rely on superior intellect and natural charm. It works every time. If I were you, I wouldn't leave the ship without me. I need the Jedi Council's hollow frequency. Old Doc's gonna have a chat with your bosses. This code you people follow has you wrapped up tighter than the Emperor's shorts. It's not healthy. In my professional experience, enjoying life on a regular basis dramatically reduces your chances of falling to the dark side.
How exactly would indulging myself lead me away from the dark side?
That's like swallowing tiny doses of poison for an extended period. Eventually, you develop a tolerance. I'm glad I'm around to keep things lively. The ship would be way too serious without me. Life of a combat medic. Long hours, grueling work. Patients bleeding all over your nice clothes. I'm not complaining. Nothing beats the look of gratitude from someone whose life you just saved. But it gets distracting when beautiful patients fall in love with you. I mean, lots of ethical dilemmas, you know.
How often do combat medics meet beautiful women?
Why do you think I took the job? I figured Jedi have the same problem. You must have admirers lined up from one end of the galaxy to the other.
I have billions of fans on Coruscant alone.
Just imagine how popular we'll be after we knock the Sith Empire into a black hole. If I were you, I'd get some extra sleep now. You can get along without me for a bit, right? Need to pop over to Alderaan. Old friend of mine there got kidnapped by gangsters. They'll kill her if I don't deliver the spice they paid me for.
You realize selling spice is against the law? What's to stop me from turning you in?
They only paid me for spice. Never planned to actually deliver any. A couple of years back, I scammed this gang for a bulk load of credits. Spent everything to set up a refugee hospital on Alderaan. My friend is the head doctor there. I guess the gangsters finally figured out where all the money went.
They're holding your friend hostage until you give them their credits. Or the spice.
I'm going undercover for Republic Customs. Once I deliver the spice and free my friend, the good guys swoop in. Gangsters go to prison and my friend gets your hospital back. Whole plan's foolproof. Won't take any time at all.
Watch your back, Doc. Someone's always building a better fool.
Don't I know it? Those gangsters were smarter than I thought. But the Republic hostage negotiators talked him out of killing me. They were really something.
Sounds like the expert on talking finally met his match.
I was at a disadvantage. The gangsters really wanted me dead. Good news is, my old friend's fine, because they forgot all about her. We never got a chance to catch up, but, hey, that's her on the holo. Probably wants to say thanks. Hey, pretend you work for me, alright? You look terrific, Prudy. Have you lost weight? Love the new hairstyle.
2 years without so much as a holo, and that's all you can say. You abandoned me at our wedding!
Sounds like you have some catching up to do. I'll go meditate.
Don't leave me alone with her. That was ages ago, darling. Don't tell me you're holding a grudge.
I thought you loved me. You said all those wonderful things on Ord Mantell.
Prudy, sweetheart. Those were sweet nothings. You should never take those at face value.
My parents flew all the way from Coruscant for a wedding that never happened. You loathsome cad. I wish I'd never met you.
Whatever happened before, Doc risked his life to save you.
I'd never have been kidnapped if it wasn't for him.
Look on the bright side, Prudy. You still have that hospital I bought you.
The gangsters burned it to the ground.
She still loves me. Those gangsters on Alderaan brought back some great memories. Oh, they used to call me Doc Operator back in the day. I was the go-to guy for everything medical. Trauma kits, surgical droids, hospitals, you name it, and I could get it. One time, this hut was hoarding med packs after a massive groundquake, selling them at an obscene markup. I tricked Mandalorians into attacking his palace.
Inciting violence hardly seems like a useful response.
How else was I gonna liberate those med packs? I forged a death mark signed by the Hutt against the Mandalorian clan. They, accidentally found it with a little help from yours truly. The Mandalorians attacked the Hutt palace in record time. By sheer coincidence, I was there to sweep in and clear out the Hutt's med packs.
You did this without either side realizing they'd been manipulated?
It helped that they all killed each other. Sometimes things work out. Thanks to an anonymous donor, every hospital in the disaster zone received supplies to treat their patients. Saved thousands of lives. That was small time compared to what we're doing. When we save the galaxy, I'm not staying anonymous. We have got to get off this ship and do something besides beat up bad guys. Don't get me wrong, that's important, but it wouldn't kill us to go out and socialize a bit. I know all the best clubs. I'll show you around, make some introductions. Never know who you might meet. It'll be fun.
Lead the way, Doc. Where should we start?
Everyone will tell you that Nar Shaddad's the place to be. But that's just hype. Truth is, Hutt space is full of boring tourists. If you want real fun, you have to visit the private clubs. They're invitation only. No tourists allowed. Give old Doc some time to work his magic. I'll get us invited to the best club this side of Ord Mantell. Can't believe this. Standards at the Republic Health Administration must be non-existent. I went to medical school with a new acting head. Guy is a moron. Doesn't know a vibra scalpel from a field cauterizer. Barely passed his final exams. How is he the top doctor in the Republic?
If what you say is true, he shouldn't be allowed to remain in that position. We should contact the authorities.
The authorities are, the ones who put him in charge. This is what always happens. Real doctors go out and save lives. Idiots stay on Coruscant and get themselves promoted. So what if this guy invented a vaccine for Zabrak scalp necrosis? I could have done it. I was just busy.
What is Zabrak scalp necrosis? Sounds bad.
Oh, it's just a low-grade flesh-eating virus. Makes Zabrak's horns fall out. Embarrassing, not life-threatening. Tell you this much. Enough's enough. No more Mr. Nice Doc. The galaxy's gonna find out what a real physician looks like. I gotta find a disease to cure. Something really unpleasant. Old Doc's always been more of a lover than a fighter. But I had to up my game since you came around. It's not easy looking good when you're fighting next to a Jedi. But I figured out the trick.
Care to clue me in before our next big battle?
Let's just say I'm getting a new nickname. Dr. Knockout. Yep. Next time we're surrounded by the scum of the galaxy, they're gonna be sorry they met me. I don't believe this! We missed the party of the Millennium last night. It's all over the holonet. Music, dancing, attractive people. Oh, we could have been a part of it if we hadn't been on the wrong side of the galaxy, saving everyone's lives as usual. 2 heroes of the Republic would have been colossal at that shindig. Infinite opportunities for romance. We would have had it made.
Just think about how much more colossal we'll be at these parties once the Empire is defeated.
We've already earned more admirers than we'll ever have time for. Anything extra is just wasteful. I'm in the prime of my life, and I'm spending it with people who enjoy running around on exploding planets. All I want is to abuse our fame just for one night. Is that so wrong?
I thank you for your trust, Jedi. I might not have given mine so freely were our positions reversed.
Tell me more about this vision. What makes someone like you bow to me?
As I told your council, the Emperor's plan is not to rule the galaxy, but to consume it. I've devoted centuries to stopping him. For a time, I worked with the greatest of your Jedi heroes, Revan and the Jedi Exile. But they did not have the strength to complete their task.
Revan? Jedi Exile? Should I know what you're talking about?
Revan was both Jedi Master and Sith Lord. The student, the Exile, defeated the Sith Triumvirate. They were your greatest heroes. I hope to help them kill my Lord Emperor until my vision. Jedi, shining with the Force, lined up to destroy him. All were swept aside. Revan and the Exile were cast at my feet. Then, out of the shadows, one Jedi emerged to cut the Emperor down. That Jedi wore your face.
I hadn't even been born yet.
I waited 300 years for your birth. When I saw your face on Quesh, in the vision, I bowed to you and took a crown from the Emperor's head. It ended when you held his power in your hands.
Your people speaking of the Empire sound like a distorted echo. When I was born, we thought the rest of the galaxy to be mystery and legend. We had been alone for 1,000 years.
What was it like? I can't even imagine.
We were what you made us. In my youth, Jedi were how you threatened errant children. Obey your masters or the Jedi will obliterate you. For thousands of years, we had total control of 100 star systems. Then the Jedi drove us to the farthest fringe of the galaxy.
That was generations ago. Do people really still care?
Did your people still care to fear us when we re-emerged? This is hardly worth debating. I gain nothing from understanding how your Republic's fools view the galaxy. I am surprised that once your council finishes its brainwashing, any Jedi has a spine left to oppose the Emperor. Perhaps you are young enough to still cultivate the strength of the Sith.
Revan the Exile and I were all Jedi trained, and we all resisted the Emperor. What Sith have done so?
That was a surprise. In 3 centuries, I expected to see one test his strength against the Dark Lord. But those strong enough to challenge him are killed young, or co-opted into the Dark Council. Perhaps you are right. Jedi strengths are different, not necessarily lesser. I do not know how more to prepare you to face the Emperor. What has your training been? All I know of Jedi ways is from Revan. Surely they have changed in 300 years.
How does someone become the Emperor's wrath?
There has only ever been one. My training as a Sith was not far different than Korriban today. Only my visions set me apart, made them bring me before the Emperor. In his presence, I first saw who he was and what he planned.
You still chose to serve him?
I chose to live, long enough to find one who could defeat him. I thought Revan and the Jedi Exile were my chance.
Revan and the Jedi Exile are legends. What were they like?
It should not have surprised anyone that Revan turned Sith. He knew you cannot fight the dark side without understanding it. The Exile was harder to read. Even with all she had done, she never trusted herself. With Revan, she was his student again. I liked them. I would have served them, but my vision told me they would fail. I cut down the Exile and brought Revan to the Emperor as a gift.
Is that what you're planning to do to me?
If you are not the one who will stop the Emperor's madness, then I will await the one who will. The only way to live long enough to find the Jedi who would kill the Emperor, to find you, was to convince him to trust me. He took my offering and gave me a place at his side. He gave me immortality. It was a gift, but not without its price.
You wanted to talk? Come clean, T7. I need to know what's going on. Don't worry about it, little fella. I thought you had some dark, terrible secret. Shafu may have been a slaver, but he changed his ways. At his heart, he was a decent person. Master Zalo saw that, and so did you. You wanted to see me? Just stick with it. You'll figure it out. What was your mission? The Geno Harridan are the galaxy's deadliest assassins. How could the SIS expect you to stop one of their agents? Well, the ambassador may have resigned, but you saved his life. You're a hero, T7. What's it say? If we have Imperial sympathizers inside the Republic, we need to know who they are. Time to pay House Bayless a visit. I'm sensing a pattern here, T7. You wanted to see me? We're getting closer to finding out who's behind this. Keep it up. Regrets won't bring Master Zalo back. He's gone. You just have to accept it. The Empire doesn't stand a chance against the likes of us. What have you got for me? Only a few dozen senators have access to those accounts. One of them must be an Imperial spy. Until we find out who hired the bounty hunter and why, we can't be sure of anything. This casts a bad light on the entire Senate. Until we know who's responsible, I don't want this to leak out.
Welcome back, Master. Your visit